everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Maria, and in this video I will be talking to you all about what it means to be frugal and what it means to be cheap, and some tips on frugal living to save you a ton of money. So if you're interested, please subscribe down below and like this video. Now, before I get started on with the video, I know that it has been a really long time since I last uploaded a video. Things have just been going on in my life over the past year, and I just needed to take a step back and just take a pause and reassess. So over the past year, I started a new job. Granted, it's really an exciting project, but just been having difficulties with kind of getting settled in, especially working in a virtual environment and working in a new team. Also, you know, the pandemic has impacted all of us, my family as well. So that has just been a really stressful time in my life. And so I just kind of wanted to take a pause and just be with my husband and my family during that time. But I am hoping that moving forward, that posting videos will become more of a consistent thing for me. It's something that I'm really going to be working hard on over this year. So I am hoping that you're all going to join me along the way. What does it mean to be frugal versus what does it mean to be cheap? Personally, for me, being frugal means being intentional with your money. It means prioritizing what it is that you're spending your money on. Whereas being cheap, for me, it means just buying the least expensive item without even thinking about the quality of that item. I know when I was in university, I lived in Toronto, and Eaton Center was really kind of like my place to go after school. I would kind of just like browse around and buy the cheapest item in H&M, Forever 21, without even thinking about, okay, is this something that's going to last a few years down the road? Growing up, and you know, some years have passed since my university days, I've kind of been thinking more about the quality of items that I purchase. Is this something that will last me for a really long time down the road so that I don't have to repurchase that item? Another difference between what it means to be frugal versus what it means to be cheap is that being cheap, you're really looking at the bottom dollar of what it is that you're spending, versus being frugal, you're looking at the overall value of that item. Another difference between what it means to be frugal versus what it means to be cheap is that being frugal, you're prioritizing your spending. So you're really thinking carefully about each item that you purchase, versus being cheap, you're kind of just like buying it on the whim just because you see that it's really cheap. I can't think of another word for cheap right now, but it's not that expensive and won't last you for a long time. So what are some frugal living tips for you to get started? First, start budgeting. Having a budget is something that is really crucial for your financial success. Early on in my financial journey, I didn't have a budget. I had no idea where my money was going. I was just spending money left and right, buying cheap items, versus now I have a budget and I'm continuously assessing, reassessing, thinking about, okay, what is it that I need and what is it that I want? And I have a plan of how I can purchase the items that I want and how to get there. Within your budget, you can really prioritize things that matter and cut out things that don't. Another frugal living tip is for you to sell things that you don't need. Now, I know personally for me, I've used Facebook Marketplace in the past, but you can also use other sites or apps like Depop, Poshmark, eBay, etc. to sell things that you haven't used in a while. So take a look around your home, find things that you haven't used in the past few weeks or months, and think about, okay, is this something that I will be using down the road, or is this something that I can pass along to someone else and sell, and maybe someone else will get the value and use out of it. So try to sell things that you don't need or use anymore. Going along with selling items that you don't need or use anymore online, try to also look online and see if there's anything that you could buy used. You can also go to thrift shops, antique stores, go on Facebook Marketplace to see if if anyone has an item that you are looking for, and try to buy it from there and buy it used instead of going to a big box store and just buying something brand new. Now, personally for me, back when I was still living in Toronto, I really liked Aritzia pieces. And so I would use apps like Buns where I could trade items. And I also used Facebook Marketplace a lot to see if someone else is willing to sell Aritzia items that they haven't worn before, and buying that item off of from them. So for example, I have bought some of my Murphy sleeveless tanks from folks on Facebook Marketplace because someone was willing to sell them, instead of me going to Aritzia and buying it brand new, because you know, Aritzia items does tend to add up, especially if you buy it brand new. So try to buy things used, go to antique stores, Facebook Marketplace, etc. and it will really end up saving you quite a bit of money in the end. Another frugal living tip is for you to know what it is in your pantry, fridge, or freezer. Knowing what you have, you're more likely to use it up before it expires or goes bad. For me personally, I try to take a look at the vegetables that I need to use up, some condiments that are about to expire, so that I could try to incorporate more recipes that would use up those condiments or spices a little bit more. By knowing what I have in my pantry, my fridge and freezer, I'm more likely to use it up during the week, and ultimately it ends up really saving me money because I don't have to I don't have to go to the grocery store and buy that item that I already have, because I know what it is that I have already. I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, just knowing what you have, it will end up really saving you money, because then you won't end up repurchasing it because you forgot about it. Another frugal living tip is for you to evaluate your subscriptions. So I know that there's so many subscriptions that we could get nowadays, from Netflix, Amazon Prime, Audible, food subscription boxes, makeup subscription boxes, etc. And it really ends up becoming overwhelming after a while, and you don't even know, if you don't use it quite a lot, that it's something that you're being charged on. So for example, early in the beginning of this year, I saw that we had an Audible subscription that was deducted from one of our credit cards. And we're like, oh my gosh, we didn't even use this Audible subscription over the past year. And so we called and canceled that Audible subscription Audible subscription, because it's not something that we even used anymore, and it was being charged out of our credit card annually in the beginning of the year. So look at your credit card or your statements and see, are there any deductions that are being taken out because of your subscriptions, and see if it's something that is going to be useful for you or not. So personally, for my husband and I, we enjoy watching shows and movies on Netflix and Amazon Prime, and so we have and also Disney Plus. And so we have kept those subscriptions, but Audible is not a subscription anymore. Try to evaluate your subscriptions and look at your statements more carefully moving forward, so that you can avoid the mistake that we have with having that Audible subscription that we didn't even know that we had. So yeah, try to evaluate your subscriptions. Thank you all so much for watching this video where I talked about the difference between what it means to be frugal versus what it means to be cheap, and some tips on how you could apply frugal living more into your daily life. If you like this video, again, please make sure to like it down below and subscribe to my channel for more videos on minimalism, finance, frugal living, and just lifestyle in general. Thank you all so much again for watching, and I will see you all in the next time. Bye!